Welcome, everybody. My name is Arjun Roy, producer, recordist, mix engineer, coming at you from Grande Prairie, Alberta, my hometown, and recording at an undisclosed location for another sofa session. This is episode 29 of a series of unedited conversations that I'm calling The Hometown Hustle. This deals with my artistic journey through the arts and music scene in the Peace Country and all the people who helped me get where I am today. And today, I'm pleased to have with me one of my dear friends, guitarist, songwriter, riffmeister, and purveyor of tasty licks, Mr. Neil Farnquist.
Hello.
Welcome, Neil.
Thank you. That was very nice.
It's all true, buddy. It's all true. But thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no worries, man.
I feel like when the idea for this came up, like the top of the list was probably you in terms of people to chat with, right?
That's so kind, Arjun.
I feel like my time getting into the scene here, playing music.
Yeah.
I think it really actually started with us meeting and jamming.
Yeah,
right?
it was an ignition point for sure, right? Like when I met you through Courtney.
Yep. Oh, that's right.
And then Courtney Brown, right?
Yep. Because you were in her class or something?
Yeah, I was in upgrading for just general upgrading, and I seen her in math and all that, and I don't know, we just kind of hit it off together, just as friends, and and then before you know it, she's like, I think you should meet somebody.
It was the same thing with me too. Like, my friend Neil plays guitar, and talks about a lot of the same bands you do.
Because back then it was like, I don't know, just a lot of times when I met new people, I'd be like, what kind of music do you like? And it would eventually come to me, saying I play and all that, and hopefully finding like-minded people.
Yeah. That's such a big part of the thing that we do. Is it's not that you need to find people who think the same as you, but just like people who are into the art, who are into music, I guess, actively rather than passively.
Yeah.
Especially when you're younger, like just thinking about being in bands or something, right?
Yes.
Like it's so important to, I don't know, to know that you're not alone, perhaps.
Yes.
Not meant as a pun or anything from what we'll get into.
That's pretty good though.
Nice
job.
Dad jokes. That's what I do these days.
Right here.
Absolutely. Man, when did we meet? 2001, 2?
So when did the trade center went down in 2001, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Did I know you before that or after that?
Because I think it must have been after.
Yeah.
Because I got here September 2000, and I was in comp sci, or like CST or something like that first year, and then I switched into music. So I'm pretty sure when we met, I feel like I may have just transferred into music.
Yeah, I think it was the second year that I was at the college there.
Got it.
Yeah, I come around to seeing you.
Yeah.
With the signature D
yes.
cap.
Oh, the bucket hat.
the bucket hat. Yeah.
It was such a 90s thing, man. That the D stood for Disneyland. We went to Disneyland when I was younger, and I don't know. I guess the bucket hat was my thing.
Yeah. You wore it well, so yeah. It's your signature.
You're too kind. I hope many things come back around. I hope the 90s come around, and maybe, just maybe, just bring it back.
If anybody should do it, you should.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Yes,
this affirmation, dude. This is why we're here. That's right. We met and then we jammed. I remember I was renting a room at somebody's place across the reservoir. Diane, that's right. One of the professors at GPRC.
Did she have a pet bird or something?
She had pet cats and pet birds as well.
Yeah, that's right. Really kind of lots of plants in the house.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember,
exactly. Yep. I think we
you had a tiny little room.
Just classic student life, right? Just a bedroom in a house. And that's it.
But your parents were still up in
they were
North?
Yeah. We lived in the NWT when we first moved to Canada.
Right. Yeah.
And they were there until probably 2002 or 3 when they moved to Grande Prairie.
Yeah, that's right.
So we jammed there. At least I remember jamming with you there. I don't know if that was the first time we ever jammed. But
that was the first time, yeah. I don't know. There might have been one or two other people there. Was Brendan there? Was he, or did we see him at the college Ekstrom? right?
Yeah, Ekstrom, Brendan Ekstrom, Bulldog. That's right.
Yeah, good guy.
Good guy.
Miss him.
Yeah, man. He's kicking it in Toronto these days.
Yeah.
Working and getting a bunch of acting gigs and stuff like that.
Vanessa's friends with him too, so she keeps up on
great.
tabs with what he's doing, kind of. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
that's good.
Yeah. So that's a really good question, man. I don't know if Bulldog was hanging with us at the time or if he was just at the college, but you brought over your SG practice amp.
Was it the black? The black or
It must have been the black one.
Yeah.
I really can't say though.
Yeah, I don't know if I even had that by then because I know I bought the Epiphone first. That was the first one I ever got, and then it might have been that one, but maybe it was the black one as well.
Yeah, interesting.
Because 2001 might have been when I bought that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is there any the serial number and all that I could punch it in? Is
there
absolutely.
A way to... Yep.
Okay.
You bet. I'm pretty sure because I've done this with a couple of my guitars. Like actually, the person who told me you could do this was Brandon Mann. Oh, Brandon Mann. Good pal. Very knowledgeable about gear, should I say?
Yeah.
So Brandon mentioned that because he looked up some serial numbers.
Nice.
But you can just punch it in and it'll tell you what year, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'd kind of like because I can't remember. It's just. I don't know, the memory's kind of fading a little bit with certain things, right? And then other things are clear as day still. But
absolutely, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Yeah, and we ended up jamming on.
It was like
I
covers
believe Ozzy and some Pink Floyd.
Yep.
Yeah. Good times.
I remember that. I remember feeling like a real adult because I think you brought over like a 6-pack of beer, and I thought,
I think so.
That's right. Drinking some beers, jamming.
Me and my half a beer, and I'm already getting looped.
I know. Like I feel like I'm still the same way.
Yeah, I still got a rash here on my neck.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, just I don't know if it's like, is everybody like that, or is like, do you get when you drink?
I don't, but I know people who do. Aside from you as well, like some people, like they just have an allergy to generally alcohol. And it kind of manifests in some way. Some people have it real bad,
Yeah. Which was, I explored that when I was younger, of course.
Right.
But I got wiser over the years. Now I only 2 or 3 on a work night, maybe on the weekend, whatever.
Absolutely.
It's good.
You're an adult. You made it.
Yeah.
Just.
I'm an adult.
Oh my gosh. Man, let's take it back a little bit.
Sure.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born in High Prairie, and
no way.
Yeah, High Prairie. Yeah, your
my dad works. Yeah.
I haven't been there for years, but I can't remember much of that. And then we spent a lot of my youth between Valley View, Grande Prairie, back to Valley View again, Edmonton for a short stint, and then Vermilion.
Oh, okay.
Almost to Lloydminster. Yeah. And then back to Grande Prairie in like 1990 or 91. That's when we moved here, and I've been here since.
Got it. What were some of the reasons for the moves? Just like work and stuff? Like,
my mom was she was like a job, right? Opportunity, plus to be closer to family to help out with the kids, because we're such a handful, right, Mom?
There you go. You and Janet. Oh, come on.
Yes.
Oh, terrors.
Rambunctious. And then, because my aunt, kind of wherever my aunt moved back in those days, a lot of times we would move just because, they're close, my mom and her, and we loved hanging out with her, and
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And then 91, so like, did you finish high school sort of in Grande Prairie?
I didn't finish high school, but I got to hanging out with a lot of older kids when I was, grade 9, grade 8, grade 9. And I started at the comp in grade 10 and made about halfway through, maybe, 3/4 away, and then dropped out. And
got it.
I started working with my uncle, Uncle Joe, at a gas plant in BC, Tumbler Ridge.
Okay, got it.
Or Chetwynd, actually, sorry. Yeah, it was Chetwynd. Started making money and all that, and got kind of distracted by that. And I should have stayed in school, of course, but it's like when you're young, especially when you're hanging out with older kids and stuff, you taste the adult life, and it can be seductive, right?
Of course. Well, especially when you're working and you have income coming in
Yeah.
at that level as well. So
Yeah. It's like, oh, man, I can buy my own car.
Yeah.
In my truck.
exactly. Forget
Put
this
my own
kid
stereo
stuff.
in it.
Yeah. Right. Remember how big a deal that was?
Yeah. Have a smoke show in it too.
Absolutely.
I was learning.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How long did you work at the gas plant for?
Oh man, so I was 15. So I think it was like probably about 2 months, 3 months.
Okay.
It wasn't very long because I found out I was underage. I wasn't supposed to be
Oh.
in there. I won't mention who I was working for, but
Sure. Yep.
but my uncle was just like, okay, so he's dropping out, or my mom and uncle, right? Like he's dropping out. Let's give him a taste of adult life. So,
Yeah.
So onwards I went with my Toyota Tercel
Oh.
from my mom. It was my
ride.
first vehicle.
Yep.
Yeah, and I went to Chetwynd, and yeah. So that lasted a little bit, and I think it was the summer or something. And then I came back, and I might have went to live with my dad at some point after that. Timeline-wise, I'm trying to... Because I think I should have graduated in 97, but I went back, of course, and got all that at the college just right when I met you there the year before. But yeah, worked with my dad for a bit and come back and started doing a couple oil field related jobs like filtering on service rigs.
Okay.
And just didn't like the lifestyle and the vibe out there.
Sure.
I wanted something different, so I was talking to my mom, and hey, you should go to college. You should get some, just get a different perspective on things.
Got it.
Try something new.
Yeah.
So I think I was like 20, 21 at the time, 19.
Yep.
So yeah, I tried that, and it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
lots of
great.
good memories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really good memories. Man, talk to me about getting into music when you were younger. Like what, I know Janet's artistic as well.
Yeah.
What were you guys like, was there a lot of art kind of happening family-wise? Was there a lot of music family-wise? Or like, did you guys listen to music and pick up instruments and
we
stuff? We
argued about music a lot, me and Janet. Right, Janet?
Right.
Because we were very rigid in our passionate about who we liked, and yeah. But even before that, though, like back when I remember younger, just listening to my mom's vinyl and like Michael Jackson and Toto.
Oh.
And just just dancing around, just cranking it up on my mom's stereo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice early memory I have.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Did you guys listen to the radio a lot?
Yeah, when I was in like school, I was like getting rides or whatever. Stuff like that, and like frequent trips to the city with my mom just for medical reasons and all that. I remember listening to the radio, like I don't know, Hungry Eyes and all that 80s stuff.
Yeah. All the good
Gowan.
stuff.
I love Gowan.
Yes, man.
I still love them. Yeah, stuff like that. That was the radio stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Who are your who are some early artists or bands or guitarists or whatever who, what I'm trying to figure out and articulate is, for me, I feel like there was a point in time when I remember hearing something or seeing something. I think it was probably like the November Rain video. Yeah, like a friend's family had satellite, and so when I was over, they'd be like, "Hey, let's watch some satellite, MTV or something." And I saw that video and I thought, "Wow,
yeah,
like I don't understand what's going on," but this music thing, I might like this. Do you have a similar kind of memory?
I'd say about like 87, 88. Who made who?
Oh.
The Maximum Overdrive soundtrack.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if you remember that movie.
I remember that movie.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I used to have it on tape or whatever, VHS. But before that, I was quite often go for like hangouts, play dates, or whatever you want to call them. This was probably about grade 5 to 7 in Vermilion.
Okay.
And my buddy Craig, he was just listening to something. He was like, check this out. And it was Who Made Who. And I was like, man, this is so good. I can't get enough of this. And, you know, I'd show it to my mom and all that and tell her, like, who made who? Who made who? I want this. AC/DC, right? And so I ended up getting that for Christmas, I think. That, Razor's Edge, at a later point, of course, and Appetite.
Dude,
and
what an
Appetite,
album.
those are through another, sorry to interrupt you.
No worries.
That was another friend. Jamie was his name. And I think we found it in the school playground or something in the grass. Like, you know, you remember the cover, right?
Of course,
and
absolutely.
They open it up and it's the fine young lady in there.
Yeah.
That must have been about 88. And just listening to those two, and Scorpions too, the best of ballads. And
Sure,
them.
yeah. Great record.
I'd say those 3 or 4, you know, early on, guitar-wise, that was influential on me, definitely. Like, just loved hearing it. Like, I could listen to that Who Made Who, like Malcolm playing that rhythm all day. It's so simple, but
Absolutely.
yeah, it's so good.
So tight, so good. Oh my gosh. That's one of the things about AC/DC records is that the sound is unmistakable and it's so huge.
Yeah.
You know, like when people think of what huge rock albums sound like. I mean, usually people think of like really distorted guitars, lots of reverb, all this kind of stuff. But their tone, I mean, of course, I guess what we found out is that when they would record, they would wind out their amps.
Yeah.
They were very clean amps, but once you crank them up like that, you can't recreate that tone any other way, man. It's incredible. But yeah, man, and Malcolm's chugging, that rhythm head, dude.
Yeah,
So good.
he's just so solid, and little slight variations in his, both like his fretting and his picking and strumming. It just like, wow. Like, yeah, I mean, it's simple rock, right? Like, but just to truly appreciate it, just listen to what he's, especially on the AC/DC Live later, like 1991, I think it was. Another influential album, actually, one of the most for me. Just listen to how he's like alternating his attack and stuff on songs like High Voltage.
Yep.
And just the interplay with him and Angus. Just, that was
thing.
amazing when I heard that album. Buddy of mine, Nelson, he had an old, I think it was an old muscle car or something, kind of variant, but I was sitting in the back and he cranked it up in these 6x9 speakers in the back. And it was heaven, man. Like I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you always want to learn guitar?
Not until I heard that live album, and then
Got
I gotta learn this because it's so good.
Yep. Did you guys grow up
feel
with instruments in the house?
No, not really. Piano.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was keyboard, piano, maybe. My dad was a really good pianist.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, he was. I never seen him play much. From what I do remember, he was really good. Like he could play House of the Rising Sun, just like nothing, like stuff like that, and more like a hobby for him too, right? Yep.
Cool.
But yeah, AC/DC Live, that was a landmark for me, and then 91. So after that, probably when I met you and Cadel, and then started getting into things like just, broader scope, like Zeppelin and stuff like that. And that's when it just opened up completely, is when I heard Zeppelin.
Got it.
And it was actually a good bridge between me and my sister because she was always more Metallica, Doors, and I like them now.
Okay.
But back then I was just like, AC/DC or bust, man.
Yeah, of course.
Like, this is how nerdy I was with. I used to take the VHS to house parties.
Yep.
And you guys gotta watch this. Appreciate it.
Exactly. It's like, you don't want to make this party a lot cooler? Check this out.
Check out Angus. Like, he's gonna make it cool.
That's amazing. That's dedication, man.
Yeah.
You're trying to spread the good word, right? And you're like, listen, guys, have you heard the good news about AC/DC?
Yeah. And I'd like play video games and stuff and turn the volume right down, and I just crank AC/DC like we were playing hockey with your buddies and stuff like that. NHL. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Did you have access to like a guitar to practice on or start picking up at the time?
So I got my first guitar was actually a bass guitar.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Man, I can't remember the name of it. Does Gremlin sound familiar?
It does.
It was red.
Yeah, okay.
I can't remember who I got it from. And at the time, my sister was dating Derek Lundblad. Wicked guitarist.
Oh, from Mantra.
Yeah, and
oh my gosh,
supreme good guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Love you, Derek. Wow. And because she, we'd talk about like how to play bass and all this because I was looking to jam with Nelson, right? Because he had a drum set and
got it.
And she suggested Orion, the bass line from that, right?
Sure.
Cliff Burton, right? Yep. Yeah. So I learned that eventually.
Cool.
And I jammed that out. And Nelson also had an electric, I think it was a Fender. And I just remember like him playing that and then me playing with it and stuff. And there's so much more options, right? Like, and I found it hard to press down on the bass strings at the time, right? Yep. Thick. So I just gravitated towards the guitar.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and that would have been about, I'm jumping around here because it's all like fuzzy, but that would have been about 96, 97.
Oh, I see.
When Ball Breaker came out, AC/DC.
Yeah.
I can, my whole life is like
AC/DC
charted
records.
by releases by them.
Hey, man. I understand completely.
And so 97 Ball Breaker, and that's when I really like, okay, I got to learn some of this stuff.
Got it.
So I bought tab books.
Yep.
Got advice from Derek. He actually showed me how to play the intro to Sin City at the time.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's a good song.
Absolutely.
And just kept going from there. Learned a whole bunch of Guns N' Roses at the time, like Knocking on Heaven's Door and stuff like that. And like I said, I didn't truly like hit another level until I went to the college and started jamming with other people. And
okay.
Not to jump too much forward, but do you remember the smoke room at the college?
I do, yeah.
I don't smoke, or I didn't back then.
Exactly.
I quit when I was 21, but after that, I'd end up just going in there and jamming out, and because there was an audience. And
exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Seemed like the place.
It's funny thinking about that now. Like nowadays, you would not have a smoke room like that, right? Like it's just it just wouldn't exist, But I remember that too. Even like when to jump ahead without meaning to as well. Like remember playing it like BJ's and Sharks and stuff back in the day? I mean, those were like they're so smoky.
The lungs were punished.
Like 2 days afterwards, I would wake up just hacking a lung,
Yeah.
But those were different times, which is hilarious.
I'm glad it isn't like that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
In some respects, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if I smoked, I'd have a different perspective.
Right. But, absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess overall as a trend, it's probably a good thing. What was your first electric guitar? Or was it an electric? Was it an acoustic?
The bass, like I said, and I don't remember what I did with it. I think I gave it to somebody.
Okay.
But then I went and bought my first guitar at GP Music. It was Daryl, Mike, or Dave.
Okay.
One of those guys, I think,
classic.
helped me out. Yeah, of course, the classic lineup.
The classic lineup, absolutely. Like throwing Gary and you've got like the whole band.
Gary. So it was the Epiphone SG.
Oh, okay. Understood.
Because I like the red.
Yep.
And I didn't know it at the time, but the neck is really, what's the word? Just, it's good because I have really small hands. They're short and fat and stubby, but it was easy to get up on that neck and strangle that a little bit and try and get those bar chords, right?
Totally.
So yeah, that was my first one. And that might have been before 2000. And then I eventually got the black Gibson.
Yeah. Cool. What were some of the? I mean, it might be redundant, but were you inspired to buy the SG because of Angus? Or was there some other reason?
Of course. Yes.
Just, all right, cool.
Yeah. I had to try and duck walk with that thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is a secret because no one's going to see this. But do you still duck walk with it to this day?
Do.
Yes, that's the thing.
Or some variant of a duck walk. Yeah,
absolutely. Man, I remember seeing some of those VHSs. Like I saw the live VHS when we lived in Hay River or something, and I just remember thinking like, what a character this Angus Young guy is. I mean, first of all, like the band. I'm just trying to think of my first just like impressions of listening to that band.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I heard Brian Johnson stuff first before I went back and got into Bon. But just that, what a crazy voice. Like, like this. There are very few acts who do that in that way, and then watching them, like everyone's just they're going so hard every song, and Angus is out there just hamming it up, just doing his thing, like it's incredible, man. Such energy.
Yeah, it's the rhythm machine of Cliff and Malcolm and Phil or Chris, whoever's drumming, but it just gives him every opportunity to ham it up and just feel it, right? And he does, like he feels every note, like. You hear his vibrato, and it's instantly that's Angus.
Absolutely.
Nobody has a vibrato like him.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get that, develop that, man.
Totally.
Like,
totally.
You spend your whole life, not that I would, but I developed my own, and but it's distinct, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And that's again, just as you said, that's a skill, man. You got to put in the time to do that. I mean, it's not just doing this a whole bunch, right?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be pitchy, it's gonna be uneven.
Yep.
So when you hear folks who, again, it's a big part of their sound, it's unmistakably them, and that's so cool, man.
Yep.
When getting into like learning some of their tunes, were you sort of into rhythmic stuff first? Were you into Angus's parts first, or was it just all of it?
I gravitated towards the rhythm first, just because. Just something about Malcolm's playing, it drew my ear.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I like Who Made Who and stuff like that, and Jailbreak, like
absolutely.
The live version.
Yes.
Like the old version's good.
Yep.
I love it, but that live version, because it's extended, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's just amazing, man. I still listen to it all the time for inspiration, or just to chill out with a beer,
Yeah.
After a hard day,
definitely. That's cool.
Yeah, so first Malcolm, and then just for lack of skill at the time, I couldn't really figure out Angus's parts all that well. Yep. And a lot of his it's a lot of speed and feel too with some of his licks, right? And so I definitely learned the rhythm parts first, and tried to color them up with like. Some of the easier Angus bits.
Yep.
But
when did you get into, because I guess I have to preface this by saying, like, I feel like when I met you and we started jamming, you had like the solid rhythm down and also like the great licks and stuff down too.
Yeah.
When did you get into, whether it was through Angus or, or whoever else, when did you get into the lead end of things?
I spent a lot of time when I was living with Bev. You remember Bev?
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time because I lived in the basement, and I bought a lot of magazines back then, Guitar World, Guitar One. And I don't remember if there was tabs available online at the time.
Dude, that was right around the time between no tabs and yes tabs.
Okay.
What a crazy time.
Yeah.
Forget YouTube. Like there was you couldn't go and see 17 different tutorials on how to play the same from high def from all angles.
Yeah.
No, forget it.
You had to make do with what you had. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
But a lot of time, I remember this one article in, I think it was Guitar World. It was all about Jimmy Page and how he, a lot of his techniques and stuff, and it had like 5 or 6 samples of songs and stuff, and they really highlighted the smear lick, right?
The smear lick,
classic, right?
Yep.
It's all built on that. A lot of blues licks are built on that.
Yeah.
Chuck Berry and all that too.
Yep.
And so I remember just just going at that for hours, just trying to get it in my fingers, right?
Yeah.
So I could develop further. And yeah, eventually I got a couple of the licks, and like Dazed and Confused, the solo there.
Yeah.
Do na 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 na.
It's a great lick.
Yeah, it's man, I love that. I played so many hours of that. Just getting it in the fingers, right?
Totally. Putting in the hours to just try and lock into that vibe.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about not knowing how these things were played is you have to use your ears first of all.
Yeah.
And then you have to like figure out what each guitarist's like, what their natural sensibility as far as rhythm goes. Because like listening to Angus play rhythm and then lead, listening to Malcolm's rhythm work, listening to Jimmy Page's rhythm work, man, they all feel the groove differently. It's
way different,
so cool. And having like, again, having no other option but to like maybe somebody shows you a lick, maybe you see the lick in a Guitar World magazine, but then you have to put in the hours to get it down.
Yeah, and the dynamic with Arjun and Arjun and me. Yeah,
that's right.
Angus and Malcolm, because like Angus had the benefit of having a solid, one of the most solid rhythm guitarists.
Absolutely.
Whereas Jimmy was like, well, John Paul Jones, of course, on bass, but that's a different dynamic, right?
Totally.
So yeah, he just approached everything in a totally different way, and really opened my mind up to what you could do with rhythm and little lead fills here and there.
Were you into Jimi Hendrix at the time? Like, did you get into Hendrix as much as some of these other players?
I didn't get into him as much as when I met you, and we started jamming and stuff, and just because then I wanted to venture further, right? Like, get out of the box a little bit more, and I eventually I had heard of him, and I've heard of course Foxy Lady and all that stuff, and liked him, but didn't get into stuff like manic depression and all that until well into college life, and what was that? Jeffrey Whitall.
Jeff. Classic.
Music History, I think it was.
Yep.
He played All Along the Watchtower, and this is good stuff. Good pick.
Good pick, totally. The reason I asked that is because for me, again, when we met and started jamming, I feel like I'd spent a long time trying to cop Jimmy's licks, trying to play some of the lead work, and kind of missing the big picture, which is that Jimmy was a fantastic rhythm player who had that style where he'd ornament his chords with these cool bluesy rocky things. So I'd kind of spent my time misunderstanding that. And then when we started jamming, a big part of it was, again, when you start jamming with people, you suddenly realize, at least for some people, for me for sure, that, oh my God, my timing is terrible. I've spent so long just playing these licks by myself alone in my parents' basement. So when you are playing with a person, you suddenly realize, actually the most important thing is listening. So jamming with you was great because it started to bring me back to just the fundamentals. It's like, forget noodling up here. How do we both lock in to play just a big, thick rhythm riff together?
Get and feel that pocket.
Oh gosh, and that's so important. It's severely underrated, I'd say. A lot of some of the best, I guess, lead guitarists are also extremely good rhythm players. You have to be, right?
Well versed in all of it. Because I had never heard of Yngwie before I met you.
Right.
All hail Yngwie. Amazing,
the master.
Man. That wasn't really my bag, but then I got exposed to it through you, and I was, oh man, this is crazy what this guy's doing. And I listen to it quite often now. It's good, nice different flavor, right?
Definitely, absolutely, fascinating. That's really interesting. Did you get a guitar amp at the same time as you got your first electric?
TKO. Is you familiar with that?
Absolutely.
That was one of the first ones I had, and it was terrible because every time I'd plug into it, I had no knowledge of circuitry or any electronics. I'd get shocked to hell, just playing it. Playing my bass and all this, and then the guitar as well. And I think I ended up getting the Metal Zone.
Yes, classic.
To complement the TKO.
TKO, Metal Zone. This is just classic gear journey.
It's a journey, yeah. So after that was my first amp, I believe, and then it was the Valve State after that.
Oh,
I think it was the Valve State, yeah.
Cool.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
The Valve State, absolutely.
And then after that, this was mid No One's Alone time frame, I think, or near the beginning maybe. Cadle decided to focus on singing more, and then I ended up buying his amp or getting it from him. I can't remember if I paid him for it. I think I think you bought his Triple X. I believe so. I hope I gave him money for it because it's a good amp.
we can edit this in post.
Yeah.
No one needs to.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my
nice
gosh.
gift.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. Because I remember you had the Valve State to begin with.
And it was good. Yep. It was like for me in my basement, just practicing. It was great. Just working through our sound mix, you know, and all that. I think we all agreed at the time that the Triple X was a good complement to whatever you were playing. What was your first one that you had there?
Well, so I feel like we started jamming and I was borrowing someone's PV. It's like a trans tube something, right?
Yeah.
Like Dustin Evans. I think this has come up in on this podcast before. I was borrowing Dustin's combo amp. I think it had like 212s because the only other thing I had before that, my first guitar was my first electric was a PV Predator, like a Strat copy, like you know, cheapo kind of thing, which my parents got me for my birthday, Christmas, like all that together, you know. And a little PV Rage 108, like
the Rage, I remember the Rage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that was
one.
Great, but really it's a tiny amp, so it's not something that would ever keep up with drums or anything like that.
Yeah.
So somehow I got into this hanging out jamming situation with Dustin and some guys, and Dustin sort of lent me the amp for a long time. So I didn't have an amp really, and so I used that. Thankful, you know, to have borrowed it for as long as I did. And then at some point I saved some money, and my parents, you know, present-wise, all of these things combined and I ended up with a JCM 800.
Yes,
Marshall. That was like my dream. That was, you know, for me it was, you know, like Zakk Wylde. That was his tone, right? But of course, you know, I also, you know, thought, what is the perfect complement to having a JCM 800? You know, like what could really kick this up a notch? A Metal Zone. So and that was before, again, like that was early in my tonal journey. You know, like nowadays, if you think about how you set up your tone, kind of set up the power section first. You know, maybe start bringing in the gain a little bit, figure out where it breaks up. But back then, it was like, well, you know, this is my clean tone because the gain is turned off. And then when I want distortion, I'll crank on this Metal Zone pedal with the gain turned up as much as possible, right?
Razor blades.
Exactly. So that was my tone, and you know, I guess the Triple X complemented that. Probably added some real nice tone to what.
Well, that was me. So when I had the Valve State, we were the triple attack, right?
Yes.
Before,
that's right.
We can't forget that.
That's
part
right. No,
either.
we can't. Yep.
That's because I think we were just working through like what would be the best. For the songs and stuff, and but it was fun having 3 amps on stage.
3 guitarists. It's like the dream. It's like Blue Oyster Cult, Skinnerd, right?
With Metal Zones.
With Metal Zones, absolutely. Oh, beautiful. This is, you know, this is how we. Everyone should have that experience. I think, you know. You got to start somewhere.
You got to go through it and feel it.
Absolutely. And you can't feel it unless you commit to a thing and then either decide this is working, let's move ahead, or this sucks, but now I've bought this thing and I can't buy another thing. How do we make it work? And, you know, go from there, which was definitely my, you know, the case that I was in. I feel like even like the first third of our time in No One's Alone, I feel like the gain on my Metal Zone just kept getting dialed back until it was... It stayed permanently at like 1.5. You don't need more than that. That's it.
The touch.
Oh my gosh. And, you know, that's how we rolled. Well, I mean, I guess since we're already getting there, we should talk about how our jamming led into band stuff.
I think it all kind of started with Howlers, right?
Yeah, man. The more of these things that I do, it's amazing how the scene at Howlers, like
Yep.
the open mics that they put on, even just the bands that they'd book, there was a lot of action happening, and really, like, it was a scene.
Yep.
So many of us kind of met each other, jammed together, and like went to shows at Howlers.
Yeah.
Man, it's like classic.
After our, hard-earned learning or whatever, and classes
Yes,
and all that, we
of course.
converge.
Yeah,
and,
kick back, have a drink
get
after
to know
classes.
each other and
yeah,
enjoy some music.
definitely.
Yeah.
I remember one thing that was interesting. We I don't know if this was when we were. It must have been when we were both in music or something. But did we both have lessons with James Oldenburg?
Yes.
We did. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that. He urged us to sort of hit up the open mics and kind of mess with some of the things we were learning in our lessons.
Yeah.
So do you remember? There were a couple of times when we played an open mic together, where we played like all of our like guitar lesson, like jazz type stuff.
I
like,
I
okay, we're gonna
remember
play
that.
tune up, and then you solo over like 17 choruses, and I'll solo over 12 choruses.
And the audience is just right into it, right?
Right
Of
into it,
course.
absolutely, of course. Like, bring it. Oh, these guys. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
These guys attempting to play jazz. This is great. Oh my gosh.
It came
man.
from an honest place. Maybe not all the tools were there yet, but
Right.
yeah, it was fun.
We gave it a good shot. That's what I remember,
yeah.
I remember there were a few people who came up afterwards, who were very into what we were doing. Like, wow, you guys, wow, how long you guys been doing this? And we're like, we just play one on television, as it were.
Yeah.
We're not real jazzers.
It was cool. I took a pride in translating the lessons or whatever we got, because I mean, he's been very influential to me too. Like, I haven't seen him for years, but at the time he was a big deal, right?
Absolutely, man.
I really valued his knowledge.
Yeah.
And just his stories and stuff, and
It was, and then again, so I think James Oldenburg has come up on this thing before, through a couple other people, but I remember a bunch of folks when I was first getting into music at the college.
Yeah.
They all studied with him, and they were fantastic players. They had great ears, like Andrew Scott, for example, and some other folks. And so James was the guy, and so, and he's also just a great human being, just very open, very
warm,
very humble,
right?
very warm.
Accepting, like, this is, this is where you're at, and here's some helpful tools. Like, try this out, right?
Absolutely.
So full of
I'm
knowledge.
also like an absolutely just mind-bogglingly amazing player too.
Yeah,
biggest
let's
ears,
not forget that, yeah.
right? Like, oh my gosh,
Him and Paul, do you remember at the Barcelona doing the jams?
Paul Strand, James
Yeah.
and Paul. Yeah, exactly. I remember going to see them and just watching what they were doing, and just my mind was blown. That was a really cool time.
Yeah.
But yeah, James, what a wonderful guy, and again would come back around.
Yeah.
Band wise for us. In the future.
Because digital design, right? That's what we were.
Yes, IDD,
taking.
Interactive Digital Design at Grande Prairie Regional College, back in the day. That's exactly what it was. So Howlers, we played some jazz, and then did we? I mean, I remember we hung out and jammed a bunch. Like, we would hang out, jam ourselves.
Yeah.
There'd be other folks jamming. There were a bunch of folks who, like, I can't remember their names now, but they would be like in the smoke room smoking and jamming, and so we would all end up playing music together.
Yeah.
This guy Aaron, who was a singer-songwriter, remember that guy?
I remember Aaron really well. He was super talented and just
absolutely
very friendly guy.
Yeah.
Wanted to play all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly,
and
all
I
the
love
time.
that.
Yep. There's something amazing about that. Me personally, I feel like as the years went by, and maybe like the band things that we did / I did later became more and more serious, like there was a pressure to always deliver something at like the highest level,
Yeah.
Whereas when we were doing this thing at Howlers, it was such an open, honest thing where we just wanted to, like you described with Aaron, like I remember we would always just want to play. Let's jam. Doesn't matter what, let's pick some songs and we'll play them.
Everybody's very accepting, right?
Absolutely.
Like, just, play whatever you want. Like, that sounded great.
Definitely.
that.
Yeah, exactly. And, the thing is, like, you kind of, like, fumble your way through, even now, I think, like, we fumble our way through stuff musically, no matter how good you get, because
Yep.
everything is a step to something else, right? Something, like, whatever is coming next.
Yep.
I have to remind myself that all the time. Whether it's like showing people demos of songs, it's like when you give people like the awkward disclaimer, like,
Yeah.
"This is not done." Like,
Oh, I
just
have
like
a
just a
hard time
scratch
with that
track.
too, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like you don't see where it could go, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like you see it, but you're trying to communicate that with
Yeah.
the demo or the idea.
Yep.
And that's what I always found so easy with you and
Right.
Cadel is here's an idea.
Yeah.
And you always seen kind of where I would go with it.
Yeah.
But you also put your own flavor,
Right.
direction, whatever you want to call it, and it just morphed into something
Yeah.
that was great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was seamless.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It was. I guess this just inevitably now leads us into meeting Cadel. So the band that we would form became known as No One's Alone. And I mean,
Yeah.
not to be full of myself, but we were kind of a big deal. We were pretty good. We played a lot, and I think a big piece of the puzzle, as well as our interplay, our writing, jamming together, like a huge piece of the puzzle was, I mean, obviously always has to be vocals.
Yeah, for
and
sure,
for us,
man.
that
Yeah.
was this guy, Cadel Lansgard, who was at the college. I forget what he was studying, but he had some bands on the go before doing anything together with us. And I remember seeing his bands play at Howlers, and somehow we started chatting, or we started hanging out. Maybe we started jamming. I'm not sure.
I think I said to him after one of his shows something to the tune of, man, I could just solo over those chords you're playing like forever.
Yeah.
Those are great, good tunes or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something similar to that.
Yep.
Just basically like it's good music, man. Like really was digging that.
Absolutely.
And Cadel's very friendly as well and just accepting and eager to get something going. He's always wanting to, back then, I don't know, I haven't seen him for a while, but always eager to move on, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just get things
absolutely.
out, right?
Get things out, pretty much. Be prolific, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That led to, again, I feel like I saw him play in a couple of different bands, maybe all at the same time. And then connecting with us was yet another thing that he was doing.
Yeah, because the three-piece, was there a three-piece or maybe a four-piece?
That he played?
Yeah, when we were watching him at the start there, and then that's when he was playing like Woman Balance and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, you bet. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, first EP,
First EP.
Woman Balance.
Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. Man, it's funny thinking back. Those are like such heady times as well. So full of promise and magic, and I don't know how else to describe it, but there are times in life when everything clicks beyond your wildest dreams.
Just falling into place.
Oh gosh, yeah. And what you mentioned about Cadel and his chords, it kind of like, I'm trying to think back, and I feel like the kind of thing we're talking about is like the tradition of like classic rock from the 70s and the 80s, the big choruses, like those, those sort of feel good chord progressions, flat 6, flat 7 to 1, like just those classic moves. When you hear them, you go, you can sing over these, and then like, just let me solo.
This is so familiar, and let's play it some more. Yeah,
absolutely. And like really, like it has to be said, the guy is an incredible singer. That was the other thing. If you think about the kind of music that we were jamming and stuff, like having a voice like that, just project.
And his phrasing, his melodies, melodic phrasing, whatever you want to call it, really just so natural, right? Like I'd play something for him, and he'd just come up with something on the spot, and like like you've seen Elton John do this a couple times, just making up a song, right? Like this is how Cadel was. You play him a few chords, and pretty soon it'd be like a song.
Absolutely.
Just right there.
Because he always had like, all those notebooks that he was always writing lyrics in, and so he had just, like a well, you know? So
Yeah.
as soon as you started playing something rhythmically would match up with what he was thinking about or what he wrote recently. And, you know, it was, again, it was like a fearless, like, you know, try anything, you know, kind of a vibe. And that's great, man. That's a beautiful thing. And I guess that's really what art is. It's just free expression at the best of times, right?
And for me, I always felt so comfortable, like I said, just because it's hard showing your sharing your ideas like that artistically with people in general, and then to find people that you are, you know, okay doing that with on a regular basis. I mean, of course, you're going to want to, you know, do it more and hang out more and just, you know, I never wanted to stop playing back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it was probably annoying to a lot of people, but I especially my wife.
Sure.
Love you, Vanessa. Just playing at home all the time, like yeah, the acoustic, right? So
check out this riff.
working on what do you think of this?
Me and the guys are working on this riff right here.
Is this too repetitive?
Do you think like 8 of these, you know, should we like switch after 6, honey?
It sounds good.
If you want to play it more, play it more.
And luckily she has quite a musical background too.
Right.
Like her parents and herself. So she was always and she's to this day very honest with whatever I show her. And I'm grateful for that. I mean, it's awesome.
You need that realness. I mean, if everyone says, you know, everything is good, well, what's that about? It's easy to get stuck in
that. If she doesn't like it, she'll let me know.
The real deal.
Right
That's
now.
right. Don't play that. Oh my gosh. That was crazy, man. I feel like we played a lot of music together. You, me, and Cadel, like just the 3 of us with acoustics, maybe. And
definitely.
I have like this memory of writing the song known as the Napkin Song.
Yep.
Was that really the first time that the 3 of us had played an open mic together?
I think so. Like, there wasn't much time, I don't believe, between when we were jamming in Howlers, because we used to go in that corner, kind of to the left of the bar, and then this corner off there.
It's a little quiet corner.
Yeah, and I think we had like a 1 amp or 2 amps hooked in, and we just started working that song out, I think.
Right.
My memory on that's a little fuzzy, but... And then not too long after, we got up the open mic, and like we started playing it. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I remember as well. On one hand, it seems like it's too implausible, you know, but really, like as I mentioned before, this was a situation when like everything clicked so well, you know, like you're playing this, I'm playing this, we just naturally weave in and out of. I don't know whether it's phrasing or parts, you know. It felt effortless, like. Every step we took, or the next riff that you played, or that I added to, felt like the right thing to do.
Yeah, we had the creative freedom to trust one another. Just let them go with this a little bit, because this sounded good. Okay, and then it ends up as like a solid part to one of our songs or something, right? There's that trust there, and just willingness to listen. Yeah. Just listen, man.
Oh my gosh. just give it a shot. Just let it ride.
Yeah. Like quite often back in the day, like jamming with new people and all that, everybody wants to be heard. Like, here's my riff, right? Like, and it's chaos. And
it's chaos. Yeah.
Nothing makes sense and nothing is accomplished usually. It's hard to wade your way through that. But with us, it was just everybody's complimenting each other. And it just was free flowing. Yeah.
And I feel like one of our strengths as folks who jam together, and then also when Cadel came on board and we would work on writing, was that part of that freedom was also then making decisions and moving on, right?
Yeah.
How about this riff? How about that? Yes, no, maybe. We're going to go to this, and then we would just forge ahead. Yeah. And I think that's. I mean, for me anyway, like from even when I'm producing and stuff, it's really hard to, these days with Pro Tools and any kind of DAW and all the infinite options you have, it's hard to just make a decision, you know? Like, how about this tone? It's good, but maybe later we can change it if we don't like it.
By choice, buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, every day.
Oh my gosh. It stymies and, you know, slows everything down in a way. infinite possibilities. But oh my gosh.
Yeah, where to navigate through next, right? It's just decide on something and try and make that the best it can be. Maybe,
exactly. Yep.
in that moment.
Follow it through in that moment. Exactly.
Yep.
Follow wherever the idea is leading you, whatever the rabbit hole is. Follow it down.
Yeah.
See it through.
Yep.
Make a decision, and then cool. And I feel like the napkin song was that exactly, because whatever else we were going to play, and I'm pretty sure we were playing Cadle songs at the time.
A lot of it was his at the beginning, and we kind of we took his main ideas and songs, and the songs just evolved over a certain amount of time, and just different parts, and 3 guitarists to 2.
3 guitar, exactly.
Right? So
totally.
no, we could have stayed 3. Like,
I know.
don't get me wrong, but we just decided that he should focus on his vocals mainly because he was so good at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, such a talent there.
Definitely.
Yep.
So that's what led to the napkin song being such a thing. And I think it was a pivotal moment in that band's life, because again, it just showed like, okay, we've been adapting this, this awesome singer-songwriter, his stuff that he has, but now here's all of us working together. And it was, again, one of those things where we made these decisions. Okay, we're about to hit the stage, but like we always do, like, oh man, I got this riff, check it out. We've got this little thing, this idea like this, and as always, reaching into his well of lyric, he was like, I think syllabically, like this line's gonna work. Hold on, and so he like wrote everything down on a napkin, and it was like a beautiful love song of some sort, power chorus.
We needed it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we played that night, and we decided to perform the song. We wrote it literally hot off the presses. Cadle was reading the lyrics off a napkin, hence the name, and it was great. It was really special.
Well received, and it just it was that first little taste of just any feedback, right, over something that you created. And I got addicted to that.
Absolutely, it's like an instantaneous. I don't know how to call it, like an instant fix, right? Like you do you play a song and the audience responds. It's amazing. But then like after a show, like I remember so many people came up to us and all they had to say was that new song. That's your new song. That new song that you guys played,
Yeah. So great.
It was so exactly. It's hard not to love that. It's hard not to want more of that, man.
Yeah, let's just make more of those kind of songs, like just different. Yeah,
it's fulfilling for us, and doesn't it feel nice when people also love it?
Yeah. It's a good starting off point, right?
It's a good starting off point.
I mean, I don't remember what we did after that, but that was for sure a big moment for the band. And,
absolutely, and it was still the 3 of us at the time. I don't think we'd thought about bringing in a bass player or who could be a bass player or drummers or anything. Like I'm sure we felt like, okay, that's the next step that we have to take. But at that time, we were starting to peak with the trio, as it were.
Yeah.
Did we play anywhere else around that time, just as you, me, and Cadle? Or was it really just the Howlers scene?
I think early on it was pretty much Howlers, and then we'd jam it. I remember jamming a lot at my place in the basement and at Cadle's dorm.
Yeah, because he stayed in the dorms at GPRC. Yep, with his half stack.
Yeah.
It's like a dorm room as
and our half stacks and full stack.
Oh my gosh!
Eventually.
I know. Because that's what you got to do.
Got to do, man. Yep. I almost got there. I still have the TV cab, but
it's a beautiful cab.
One day I'll complete the
All right, but dude, when you do, we're gonna we have to find a smaller space than this to set them both up in.
Yes.
Full stacks, just a jam, just a jam,
Even just like a 30-second video, just cranking them up and hitting an A chord or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
In unison.
Oh my gosh.
Cut.
That's it. This is how good life can be. I'm down.
That Plexi video on YouTube where Pete Thorne was in.
Oh
Europe somewhere. And it's like everybody.
It was like GuitarCon or something.
Yeah, something like that. And they go into this sealed room or whatever, and they turn this Plexi up to crank it.
Yeah, they crank it. They wind it out.
And see what they want to. What's the riff you're going to play with a cranked up Plexi?
Yep.
Check it out. It's a good video.
It's a great video. I love that the first thing that happens, they'll put on some headphones and stuff, but the first thing that happens is like just a grin. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's so good!" Like, "Oh wow."
Glass is shaking, and it's
Exactly.
it's amazing.
A plexi is a loud amplifier, man. I mean, it's 100 watts. If you want that thing to break up, you just have to keep turning it up. I mean, that's no master volume business there.
Yep.
And that's how all of our
heroes found their tone.
That's
right?
what they did. They're like,
Yeah, a lot of them did.
But what if you did this? That's amazing. Neil, I wonder if we can break for a minute.
Sure.
I might grab myself some water.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like it's been an hour, and this is a good natural break. So that when we come back, we'll come back in minutes, but for you, it's going to be 7 whole days from now until you. I'm like terrible at like the
transitioning.
the transitioning. I immediately, I suppose I should say things like "ka-chow." It's your boy Arjun.
It's time for some water, and we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. Like and subscribe.